Well, I need to welcome you back, and we'll still with the big story for today. We're talking about that storm that seems to be brewing between the national leadership of the 10th National Assembly and also the leadership and National Working Committee of the All Progressive Congress, with even the national chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, coming out yesterday to say, well, he's not in knowledge with that very name being released as principal officers of the 10th National Assembly. And not only that, but he was not carried along, and which seems not to be the tradition. And while he's really venting it out and really coming after those that seem to also oversight or seem to have not carried him along, and hence his anger is also being expressed. But anyway, as much as that anxiety seems to be created around there, we still have other issues that seem to be playing out on account of the names being mentioned as principal officers in the 10th National Assembly. But anyway, we still have no other person but Comrade FM&TV with us also helping to really talk about this. Now, in case you're joining us, we'll talk greatly about what should naturally be in our initial first half of the discussion. And looking at that, is that more of a payback coming from no other but Godswill Akpabio, knowing that the national chairman was totally opposed to the zoning formula that had his emergence as the Senate president? And is this more like a payback for that? Or do you feel it's what is making the round, especially on the Guardian newspaper today, that's more of a fallout between the presidency and the leadership of the All Progressive Congress? I'm talking about the National Working Committee. So that seems to be playing out, and Akpabio seems to be on the side of the presidency. Well, anyway, all of that is what we're looking at as we look at other angles that concerns those names that were mentioned early hours of yesterday. Like I said, we still have no other person but Comrade FM&TV, and I want us to come to it. Now, let's continue on that ground, because the main question many Nigerians will be asking, we've had any other opposition to those names being mentioned yesterday?
Yes, no opposition.
Yeah, the only opposition came, like we said, from national chairman of the All Progressive Congress. But also, we saw a major opposition, which we'll talk later. And that's the opposition coming from Atiku camp on account of Kingsley Chida, who is a strong man of Wike, being announced as the minority, part of the minority leadership of the House. But apart from that, now the question Nigerians are asking, if we've not seen any major opposition coming from even the lawmakers themselves, is this not even enough to say, well, these persons should be allowed to do their legislative function of not just only creating laws, but also others oversight? And should they not be allowed to do their job? And should this not be more of a distraction that should immediately be put away by not just the leadership of the All Progressive Congress, but also Mr. President coming to say, well, please, I doubt if these people need these. We need to deliver, as I've always promised Nigerians.
Yes, I promised and preached. You know, if somebody is my enemy, it's not necessarily supposed to be your own enemy too.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, so if Wike and Atiku at Dagadron does not mean that anybody from Wike's side is
we'll come to that issue, but should the issues, are they no more of a distraction?
They have a distraction, of course. If the president is preaching peace, if the president is preaching progress and development, why did somebody now start saying that because he was not carried along in the appointment? Did he send list of appointees that were rejected? That is one question that he needs to answer. Are we saying that the senior president does not have the weight at all to appoint people that will work for him? Are we also saying that the Mr. President does not have that prerogative of power to make sure that the people he appoints are the people that are going to favor him? It's just like now saying that the military high command is not consulted. When Mr. President was speaking, it's service chiefs. He has that constitutional duty to do what he has done. Akpabio also has a constitutional duty to do what he did. This is not a party issue.
So this is more of a constitutional matter.
It's a constitutional matter. It's not a party issue at all. So the chairman of the party should not even have an impact. If Akpabio lies, or if he had wanted, if he appoints anybody from any other political party to hold a very key and sensitive position, nobody can fault that. We are talking of Nigeria.
But you also understand that the party had strong input into his.
I'm not doubting that.
And also the party had that constitutional backing to be a party that was a vehicle for him coming into being.
The constitutional backing they have is to produce a candidate for elections. And if the candidate wins, the man becomes the leader of the whole country, not the leader of the party anymore. Because the laws they are making is not going to guide only PDP, it's not going to guide only Labour Party, neither APC. So at that level, you have moved this person into his own level of authority. Then you need to watch.
Quelling it is in order to ensure that they are not distracted about it.
Definitely, they should quell that.
Okay. Now let's leave the issue concerning that of the national leader of the All Progressive Congress, or rather the national chairman, and
no, if you use the leadership too, it's still
it's still And let's talk about another. Now, Tambuwal was earlier penciled to be the minority leader, but with intrigues, we saw Kingsley Chida, a strong proponent of Wike, emerging rather as minority leader. Now, I'm just really surprised about this. And funny enough, this is more further evidence of the newfound love between the G5 led by Wike and the All Progressive Congress. So my question is, are we going to see more of a deep romance between the Wike camp and also the All Progressive Congress on account of his man being appointed as the minority?
Don't also forget, Wike is fighting to be a minister.
Well, with indications and also information reaching us, he might also be mentioned as a minister. Exactly. That we know. But let's look at this newfound love between G5 governors and the All Progressive Congress, which is an opposition party.
Whether you like Wike as a man, whether you agree with him as a man, he has one policy. He fights his cause to the end. And that is what he's still doing. And nobody will empower his enemy during war. That is what the presidency and the Senate is doing right now. If you give that position to Tambuwal, they know that he will be under the control of Atiku. I know Atiku is at war with the president. I'm not saying that a conventional war, but they're in the tribunal. So what happens if at the end of the day, the tribunal has a different judgment or contrary judgment to what we have on ground right now?
So this is more like playing politics.
It's more or less
positioning.
It is politics. If both of us are having a showdown, I should not start buying you arms. Because once I start doing that, which means I'm already defeating myself. That is what they are doing. Politics is an act of you seeing beyond your nose to tomorrow. What is going to happen if this thing changes this way? That is what they have just done. It is in order. Even PDP will have also done it. Labour Party will have also done it. So it is not a crime for them to do what they have done. They know quite well that Wike came out at the last minute. You know, in fairness to everyone, everybody was thinking along the line that Wike is for Labour.
Yes.
Until the last minute.
When he pitched his tent.
Yes, and he stood by it. And he made sure that he delivered what he promised Mr. President. And you now want that type of a person to say, Mr. President, I needed this thing, and the president will say no.
So you feel it's more like rewarding Wike for his
exactly effort. There is no other way you can think about it. If I don't give the person that fought for me, that enthroned me, and I give it to somebody who was fighting me and is still fighting me to leave office, what do you think I am doing? Am I not hitting myself with a sledgehammer on my head? So I don't know why people say that the backstab. It's not an issue of backstab. Party is loyalty. That is why you see most people, when they say, good morning, Mike. Oh, I'm loyal, sir. That is just all. It's like an office work. The office work, the slogan of an office work is yes, sir. Yes, sir does not kill a civil servant. One man said, the yes, sir I have said to my bosses, if I have to gather them, if they are visible and I gather them, they will fill a 2-story building. That is exactly what plays in politics. You don't expect somebody to stick out his neck, to go in the morning, in the evening, in the night. They're on the road, consultations, doing everything. Then his own person now emerges. Now he now said, look, I have emerged, therefore I am the umpire. I now give this position to the person that was against me. It is not done. Even in your family. Even in your family. There was a man near my place, the cousin died. Everybody was fighting the wife of the man. But the man stood by the woman. At the end of the day, when they settled, the woman won the matter. You know what the woman did? Called the man and said, come, you're the only one that stood by me. Look at the garage. Just pick any car you want. Everything belongs to my husband. Now they are my own. Pick anyone. The man went and picked. I don't want to mention the guy, because I mentioned the guy will know that he's what I'm referring to. That is how politics is also being played. You build up a structure.
So you feel the romance is in order. But my next question would this newfound romance allow for vibrant representation coming from the opposition? Having a man of theirs as their own person, would that bring about robust representation from the opposition? It depends on knowing that now the minority leader is more of the ruling party than the minority opposition party. Because we saw a similar thing in 2012 when Ahmed Salik was the minority leader. So is this not like playing out? Would there be a vibrant opposition having the APC man in charge of the minority party in the House? How does that sound?
It depends on who that is there. It depends on who that is there, and it depends on the policy that is being pushed forward. There are so many things.
So would there be any voice of the opposition?
Definitely, there will still be a voice. Don't forget that politics is a game of interest. It's not a permanent issue. You can be surprised that tomorrow they will fall out within themselves, and another new dimension will start coming up. A new scenario will start coming up. So the whole argument should be centered on what is the credibility, the capability, and the ability to deliver of these persons. That's what should be talking. That should be the main issue now, and we are setting a footing for this new government. The government wants to stand on a strong footing. They want something that Nigerians will remember them for. Don't forget there is fire behind them, which is the tribunal. So if they don't deliver, then they are the one that is causing for the sack of themselves, nobody else. Okay. So what they have done is totally in tandem with the yearning and the constitutional matter of the country.
Okay, now talking about a robust 10th National Assembly, because that's everybody's wish and vision. Now, let's leave all of the turmoil or anxiety or disquiet tone that seems to
play out.
Yes, to play out after the announcement of that 10th National Assembly. Well, let me just quickly say this. In case you're joining us, it's Quest today, and we're looking at the fallout that seemed to have emerged after the announcement made yesterday by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and the Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas on those members that will make or constitute principal officers in the 10th National Assembly to help them guide the 10th National Assembly, lead the 10th National Assembly, and also to see how they can bring about governance as it concerns the legislative arm of government. And well, a lot of anxiety arose yesterday with the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress coming out to cry about that, and also Tiku's camp also coming out to cry against no other person but Kingsley Chida being mentioned as the minority leader. All of that seems to be happening. And many are already putting their voice to it, just as much as we're hearing Commodore Adamo have his own view to it. But let's leave all of those disquiet tone and now deal with the issue of business. Now let's look at it. The composition of the 10th National Assembly, especially as it concerns principal officers, many will say is one of the most robust we've seen in recent time. And a reason for that is we have no other but Darlington Wokocha, a member of the Labour Party, as the minority whip in the House. And we have Rufai Hange of the New Nigerian People's Party as deputy minority whip, as much as we have PDP and minority leaders and all of that. But both in the red and the green chambers. But do you see more this as bringing about a more robust and inclusive,
you call it check and balance?
Yes, a representation of the 10th National Assembly.
Definitely yes. All these parties mentioned, they are in court. All right? Now, the members in the House want to impress. And the only way you can impress is not to allow junks. And if you don't want to allow junks, if the ruling party brings up any issue, you have the right to tell them that, look, we are not going to accept this. We are not going to do that. We are not going to do this simply because you are protecting your party interest. We have diversity in the House right now. Okay. Too many parties in the House, unlike before when you have only maybe PDP and APC. Everybody's interest is now being represented.
And the minority of ABGA.
Yes, exactly. Even they are the minor minorities now in the House. So if by the time you have all these people, there will be more robust in debate. It's not going to take, or it's not going to tarry in one direction. Okay. Everybody wants to have input. There will be a proper debate over issues. There will be proper scrutiny, investigation before most decisions are taken. Don't forget that this thing almost caused chaos in the past administration's first tenure, when they say the Mr. President wants the people that will run the government with him on his own prerogative. That was where they had problem with Olusola Saraki, the former Senate President,
and Dogara,
and exactly, and Dogara. Those they came from PDP background into APC. But the main government was APC. So if as at that time we have more political parties, it would have been the way it went. Now we have all these about 5 parties that are in that house right now. Everybody will everybody will bring their own view. They will fall back to the party, get the party directives, and come back to the House and tender it before the House. So it is going to be a very robust debate. The winner takes all may not be too necessary in this very one now. it is going to be ideal.
So are we going to see more opposition on account of this? Because what I'm asking,
it may not be an opposition.
Many persons felt Akpabio played safe. The Senate President played safe, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives
both of them played safe
in having major names from the opposition as part of the principal officers of the 10th National Assembly. So is that more like playing safe? And would that not be like, okay, I've given you this,
give me this one.
Do not object to some of our wishes and also our legislation?
No. It is always a thinking of a man. Let me not use the word black man now. I've given you this, therefore give me this. It's always a thinking of every man. But we should also not forget that what you gave to me is not your own. It is the collective responsibility of the country that you lived on my laps. So you do not expect me to play and pay total allegiance to that. But in politics, you have to pay. In
neglect of what you should naturally do.
Exactly. But in politics, in most cases, they close their eyes to that angle because they want to retain this. And once you're in position, the first thing you want to do is to solidify your position. And by doing that, those who you know that can be of obstacle, they are the first people you call to yourselves. It's even in the office. If you know somebody is very, very, what do they call it, critical of your policies, you have to go and call the person and the boy say, look, let us not go that way, let's go this way. I have not seen anything wrong in that one. I continue saying that. So
you see a whole lot of horse trading in the house.
That will be horse trading. People want to come out with credibility. They want to showcase their credentials. They want to tell the world that yes, I merited what I got. Not like those days when they just come, you sit down there, you see that. Take this one, you take. Do the other one, you do. Nobody's going to start doing that now because everybody has their own party to report to, and that is the exact thing that will make this government to function well. By having so many political parties with different interests, then the interest of the country will now be the primary
overriding interest.
Yeah, interest of everyone. Not only one person standing up to dictate what happens, unlike in the past.
Okay, now let's leave that, but come back to the issue of Akpabio and also that of the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress. Would you consider this an early sign of more things to come, especially from the leadership of the 10th National Assembly? Would you say they've always voiced their interest of being independent? And Akpabio, immediately after he was sworn in last month, when he was declared the Senate president, he talked greatly of having an independent legislative arm of government that would not always go into the sway of the party and also the executive. But anyway, many are still wondering how that will be with the executive. But do you feel this is an early sign of more things to come? Or do you just see these as a settling, settling no love lost between the executive and the leadership of the All Progressive Congress?
Yeah, I think it's an early sign, but it's too early for us to also judge that it will continue. Because the interest at the top and the one below are major forces to sustain somebody at any level.
Okay.
Yeah, if they continue, somebody somewhere may call the string. Look, the way you are going is not supposed to be so. Let us come down and play this.
But would it not be better for us to even have a totally independent legislative?
I think that is
unlike what many call the National Assembly and being some
people call it rubber stamp.
And I will not want to toe that line.
Outside they said it was rubber stamp. Well, we don't know whether they were right.
So would we not rather look for an independent 10th National Assembly?
The Constitution allows 3 independent tiers of government: the presidency, the National Assembly, which is the lawmaking aspect, and the judiciary.
Yeah.
They are supposed to be independent. But what we've been seeing for a very, very long time, they are never independent. The judiciary will pass a law, the presidency will refuse to execute, because it is the 3 duties. The legislative passes makes the law, the judiciary interprets, and the executive arm of the government executes that law. Now, if you make a law, the judiciary has interpreted it, and the presidency says they are not going to pass the law. What do you do? Or they are not going to execute the judgment of the court. What do? You don't have the right to force the government to obey the court rulings. But with what Akpabio has started is a glimpse of what we should expect. He's trying to build that independent relationship between the 3 tiers of government. If he's able to have his way through this one now, which means nobody from the party or from anywhere can just come in and bend him. And that is what Nigerians have been yearning for. You should not bring a bill to the house and, who brought it? Say so person. Everyone in support say aye. Every whole hall will say aye. Even some of them, they just wake up from there. Aye. They don't even know what has been discussed. You see? So let us start it somewhere. If you miss your way for 1,000 years and you discover you are missing your way, on the 1,001 year, you have to change yourself. It's a Japan proverb. You see? So if Akpabio could start it, he may not be able to accomplish it because of the intrigues and the intricacies that have been there. Yeah. But another one can come again and build on top of it if the structure is not pulled down. But I think the man is in the right direction. And again, too, he should read the mind of Mr. President. He should get the pulse of Mr. President. Where is this man going? How do I go with him? That is how they define leadership. Leadership is not by you carrying books. Leadership is that man that knows where he is going, how he will get there, and how to carry people along with him. Because if you go there alone as a leader, you have not achieved anything. You must leave somebody on the seat when you are leaving. That is why your people will tell you, when you go to the farm, leave your footstep in the farm, so that they know that Mike has been there. Let Akpabio run this presidency to his best of ability, so that if anything goes wrong, you hold him responsible. Don't forget, if the National Assembly fails, nobody is going to hold Adamu.
Yes.
It is the president, the Senate president, the deputy, the speaker of the house, and his deputy. Those are the people they will be talking about. Nobody, have they probed anybody, has the federal government probed any political party leadership? It is the officers of the government they are probing. Now they are saying that they should probe Buhari and his minister. Did they say they should probe the leadership of APC? So if you have given me the native chalk to serve the oracle, also allow me to wear the dress of that of the chief priest. You cannot hold this one and give me this one.
Okay, anyway, thank God we're not putting any dress of any chief priest, but I'll play.
Are you afraid of being a chief priest?
Well, anyways, I will not go to court on that account. But anyway, we need to go on a break. That's why I know we need to go to. And when we come back, we continue our discussion as we talk about that drama that's unfolding on account of names being mentioned yesterday as principal officers of the 10th National Assembly. And not just only that, but what would this mean for a legislative arm that's craving to have its own independence? All of that is what we're looking at, and more to come as we make it really interactive when we open up the lines at the other half of this segment of Quest Today.